Hey,
How's it going?
pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Comfy chair.
All right. So, if you just want to kind of start by just telling me a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Well, my name's Katie. I just recently moved out to North Carolina about 9 months ago. Wow, it's been 9 months. Wow, yeah. I'm from Arizona. I'm originally from Las Vegas. Lived there my whole life. And so once I graduated high school, I went to Grand Canyon University, which is out in Arizona. That was fun. Did that for 3.5 years. Graduated with my degree in psychology. And then about 4 or 5 months after I graduated, I picked up and moved all the way across the country out here. So that was fun. And now I go to Lenore Ryan University, just getting my degree in clinical mental health counseling. Just kind of living out here, going to work, going to work, school, all that stuff.
So, what brought you all the way over to the North Carolina?
Well, when I was going to school in North Carolina or in Arizona, I told myself that I was going to stay in Arizona and get my degree out there. And about 2 months before I graduated, I had a professor tell me that my school wasn't accredited with KCREP, so that I would only ever be able to get my license in Arizona, and I was not having that. I hated Arizona. It was an awful place to live. And so I kind of did a little bit of research. At the time, my boyfriend, his sister lives out here, so it kind of just like worked out perfectly that the school was out here and it was accredited. Sister lived out here, so we had a place to stay. So yeah, we just kind of decided to do it. 6 months later, we moved out here and yeah, just started going to school up there last August. So
I feel like right off the bat, that kind of tells me that you know what you want and kind of like a go-getter, and you set this goal and you reach it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like growing up, like my parents, like neither of my parents went to college, neither of my parents, whatever. So my mom worked in like a bingo hall, and my dad was a construction worker. So I told myself from the beginning that I did not want to have to live like that. I never wanted to live paycheck to paycheck, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm very goal oriented, but it's also a fault because I feel like things have to be done a certain way always, and that stresses me out because I never do them that way. But in my brain, I'm like, this has to be done this way.
It's a little bit of a perfectionist type of attitude.
I think so, but not at all. Like I want to be that way, but it stresses me out that I'm not that way.
Right.
So I'm like the worst procrastinator in the world. Okay. Hence why 2 months into me graduating is when I decided to look into school.
Right. So I hear you talking about your parents a little bit and kind of how they lived. Tell me a little bit more about them and how your life growing up with them and all that was.
Okay. So I have 2 older brothers. So it was me, my 2 older brothers, and my parents. My dad's dealt with addiction his whole life, so I think that's another thing why I'm very like focused, because I think if I slack off, I'll do something stupid. Right. So, I mean, it was good. We had a good childhood. We actually lived in a super small town called Pahrump, which was right outside of Vegas, about 45 minutes, and so it was full of old people. So I didn't really have a whole lot of friends out there, and so I had like a small group of friends, but I mainly just hang out with my brothers. So constantly hanging out with my brothers, playing sports, doing all that kind of stuff with them.
What were their ages like compared to you?
My brother Jacob, my oldest brother, he's 5 years older than me. So
okay.
I'm 23 now, he's 28. But when I was younger, he had like 16-year-old friends when I was like 11, and I'm like outside trying to like play football or like play video games with them. So, and then my other brother Zach is a year and a half older than me, so I'm a little bit closer to him. We went to high school together for 2 years, so we always had like the same group of friends too. And then when I was in the 7th grade, I moved to Vegas, which was like a huge shock and change for me. But I also think that's why I'm so easy to like get up and just move somewhere, because I kind of like the rush of it, like going somewhere brand new, nobody knows you. And so we moved to Vegas, and I think that's when my dad's addiction really started to like show to our family. Okay. But other than that, we kind of had like a good life. You know, my parents always worked, provided. We always had a roof over our head. So.
Are your parents still together?
Yeah, they're going strong, like 32 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've been together my whole life. I mean, they've had their up and down, obviously, like normal people, but they've got a very healthy, good relationship. And so yeah, so I just, so I kind of like always base things off of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom was like my best friend in the whole world, so I call her towards like everything. Like I cannot make a single decision unless I'm like, hey mom, like I bought my first car, and I was on the phone with my mom all the time. So
that's normal.
Yeah, very close to my mom. I'm really close to my dad, but he's like a goofball, so I can't ever be serious with him. Like there's never a serious conversation with my dad. It's always like joking around or being stupid and stuff like that.
So I guess if you don't mind kind of getting into it, how like is your dad in pretty good standing now?
Well, yeah. I mean, now he is. He's actually been sober for a little over a month now. And so he was struggling really hard right before Christmas, ended up losing his job and all that kind of stuff. So finally had like a wake-up call, decided that it was time to kind of change his life. And luckily my mom's always been super supportive, obviously not of him drinking, but she just wants him to be better and get better. And
stuck with him? Yeah,
stuck with him. So yeah, that's definitely something that I've struggled with. Cause
what exactly?
So, especially like since I've been in like the counseling program and stuff, and like knowing what I want to do, I feel like I have two separate personalities. Like I feel like I have myself, and I feel like I have like my counselor self,
professional self.
My professional self, and so like dealing with my dad is like it's something that's super hard for me because I don't understand. Like I understand, but I don't understand, and so. When my mom called me and told me that he lost his job, I was like really angry, but then like my counselor self was like, you can't be angry, you know why he does this. And so I've like struggled with that, and so that's been something that's been like super stressful, is like how do I stop?
Right.
Like stop being professional all the time, but also not be a dick to my dad.
It seems like the kind of life lines don't really, like you can't apply kind of your professional stance to your family.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work out too much.
Yeah. But that perfectionist is like, no, you have to know everything.
Right.
Treat your dad like a client.
How are your brothers feel? How do they feel about the situation?
I don't really think they care. They've never been like super into like, not that they're not super into the family, but they kind of like go off and do their own thing. And I definitely like take on the weight of my family's problems. And so like my brothers just kind of like go with the flow, like do whatever. They don't really stress out about it. And then I'm the one over here like pulling my hair out. But they're good. My brother Jake actually just had his first kid. She's 8 months old, so she's really cool. And then my brother Zach actually still lives at home with my parents.
Okay.
And he just works full time and kind of helps out at home and stuff. So yeah. So just.
Does your family miss you and do you miss them?
Oh God, yeah. My mom calls me all the time. It's really annoying. Like I love her to death, but yeah, I mean, I went home for Christmas and spending like 9 days with them was definitely enough. I don't know how people see their family all the time. But I think that's a lot because, like I said, I take on like all the weight of their problems.
Mm.
And so seeing them is like very strenuous and like exhausting and all that kind of stuff. So, but no, yeah, I miss them. They miss me. Talk to them all the time. Go and see them as much as I can. It's kind of hard when you're like going to school full time and working full time and all that. So.
Yeah, I can see a lot of hardships that come with moving, 20 plus hours away from everything you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That could kind of weigh heavily on you too.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously I want to be there for them and be able to like help them and support them, but I'm also, living on my own. I've been on my own since I was 18. Paying rent, having to always work and stuff. So I can't ever. I think it's hard for like them to understand why I can't come home all the time because I work a full-time job. I can't just like up and leave all the time. So, and plus money. So
it's a long journey to make it back there.
Oh yeah, the flight is awful. Definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really change your parents. They are who they are. And,
yeah,
so
that's true. But I mean, I love them. They've helped me grow to who I am. So.
Right. So what would you say some long term goals? Once you get this degree, would you go back there? You stay here? What kind of population would you like to work with?
Well, I would never go back to Vegas. No, I did not like living in Vegas. I did not like living in Arizona. So those are definitely two places I don't want to be. But moving out here was like such a huge culture shock, and I don't like it. And so I don't think that I would stay out here either. I mean, I like the East Coast a little bit, but I definitely like the West Coast more. I feel like it's a little bit more relaxed, and it's not so like, people aren't so like uptight and like a little crazy. So
better weather.
But yeah, California's better weather for sure. So yeah, long-term goals, I just kind of like want to obviously graduate, get my degree, get my license. Most likely end up moving back towards Oregon, Washington, Seattle.
Right. Okay.
All that
so you'll
area.
Venture back towards that direction.
Yeah, be a little bit closer to family, especially. Right. I mean, I have my niece now. It's super hard being away from her because she's like a little bundle of joy. So, and then obviously like being like away from like my grandparents, my parents, and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to live a little bit closer. But 30 hours away is a little too much for me. But yeah, definitely.
So, what else do you have going on?
Well, school is very stressful. That's like one of like my biggest stressors in life right now is school. Because again, with that like wanting to be perfect, but I'm not perfect and it's super stressful. I constantly like worry about school and whether or not I'm gonna do good, or whether or not I'm gonna like be good in this profession, or whether I'm gonna be like a good counselor. And I don't know what I would do other than this. So it's almost like this is like my one shot. I'm either really good at it or I work in a construction office for the rest of my life or something. I don't know. So that's definitely something that's like weighing on my heart, is kind of like the uncertainty of how it's all going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been like super goal oriented and kind of knowing what I want to do, but now actually doing it is difficult.
I think it's safe to say that you want it pretty bad. I mean, you moved all the way out here and uprooted your life and stuff, and I think it's safe to say that if you just try and do all the assignments and put your effort in, which you will because you've done this much so far, so the rest should be easy and you'll be all right. So just don't take it too seriously and enjoy it and learn.
Trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just want to make sure that I can achieve my goals. I definitely want to help people for sure. And so, like I said, it's kind of that thing where it's like, if I'm not good at this, what am I going to do?
Right.
So, but I think that's everybody. You never know what's going to happen. Right. And to me, that's super, not being able to see the future is really difficult and hard and annoys me.
You just got to stick in there and give yourself a chance to be good at it.
Yeah.
And take it from there. So, what about your living situation here? No support immediately here around you. You think you have all the tools set in place to be successful in the program?
My really good friend from Arizona actually moved out here as well. I moved out here with my boyfriend, and we lived with his sister. And then in September we broke up, and he moved back to Utah. So definitely having my friend Jessie was like a godsend, because without her, I don't think I would have been able to like afford our apartment. So we live in an apartment together. It's like my living situation is definitely better than when I first got out here. I didn't like living with people, so once I got in my apartment, I kind of feel a little bit better. I don't have any of my stuff out here yet, though, so that actually just got shipped out today, which is super fun. But so that was definitely like a big struggle. My first semester was like dealing with like brand new environment, new house, not having all my things out here, having to make friends, which I thought was going to be really easy, but it's not. And so I'm like a very people person. And so luckily I was working at like a restaurant and was able to like make friends that way. But so now it's just kind of like balancing like my friends and school and work and trying to like make it all fit together. but also keep an eye like on my goals and stuff. So
Right. So I heard you say you at first didn't want to live with people or didn't like to live with people. When you said when you were 18 that you moved out, so did you live by yourself then? You had your own little place?
When I was 18, I lived on campus. So I had roommates.
Okay.
And then after a year living on campus, I decided to move off campus, and that's actually when my boyfriend moved in with me. And so we lived together with a roommate for a year, and then we got our own place for a year. And then right before we moved out here, we were staying with friends. And then when we got out here, we were staying with his sister. And so, like, there was just too much going on, too many people. His sister has, like, a 5-year-old kid, so that was, like, super hard.
Right.
Trying to, like, focus on school while there's, like, a little kid screaming all the time.
Right.
And so, yeah, definitely needed to, like, get out of that situation, which really, really happy that I did. I'm with my friend Jessie now, who is basically, like, a 5-year-old, so that's fun. But, no, it's good. We have a good living situation, and it's nice. So
seems like she's like kind of a emotional support system for you, is there for you and kind of help you while you're out here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, she's my best friend like in the whole world. So like without that, I don't think I would have survived out here by myself. So it's very good. We like push each other to be better and stuff like that. So but it's also nice to kind of, like I said, only be living with one other person opposed to, like, 6 other people.
Right.
Because I can kind of lock myself in my room and really just kind of, like, focus on what I want to do and where I want to be and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm also a very social person.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to have, like, a huge social life. I'm learning the hard way that that's not possible with school. So.
Yeah, North Carolina's probably a little more slow paced than Las Vegas, I'd say.
Yeah, everybody just out here is slow, and it's like I said, it was really hard for me to make friends right away because I feel like my values and my beliefs and like the way that I was raised is definitely not anywhere close to some of the people that I've met out here, and so I've kind of clashed heads with a lot of people that way. But
so, what would you say some values that you have? What would you, if you could list those?
Just like, some of my values, I guess, would be like, just being a very like compassionate person, you know, like loving people, not being like full of hatred or anything like that, kind of.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not hating on people. Like I said, just being a good person, doing good things for other people, having like a good set of morals, kind of, you know what I'm saying, like being sympathetic, being goal oriented, kind of wanting to make the world a better place. Yeah. I'm not like a religious person. I'm like a spiritual person. So that was hard too because I meet all these people that are like super religious, and I'm like.
So do you think that's what you clashed on? Maybe some religious beliefs that people around here have compared to.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. Kind of just like. Some of the people I've met are just very, like, not nice
open,
people.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's another thing too. Is I'm like I said, I'm very social, very open. I will talk to anybody for no reason,
right.
And I like don't find people like that out here. People are very like closed off and kind of, like in their group of people, and so trying to like come into that like not really knowing anybody and like it's a brand new state and kind of feeling those feelings have been a struggle for sure.
I'd say anybody that moves 30 hours away from home, would have some struggles.
Yeah.
Definitely come along with it, but I think you handled it pretty well. Better than most people.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Sometimes.
Is there anything else, on your mind?
I mean, just kind of like what we said, just kind of been struggling with the stress levels, so just trying to like figure out ways to kind of calm my stress down.
Right.
Not kind of beat myself up for certain things. Like I said, I'm a huge procrastinator, but so working on that is definitely something to kind of make sure that I am not the one who kind of screws up my own goals or path or whatever. So working on that and kind of just like being able to like deal with the stress, like the everyday stress of, like having friends, going to work, doing school, dealing with family, I haven't really been able to find like a way to kind of not take on everybody else's problems and kind of like focus on myself. So doing that is for sure.
So I hear you saying that you kind of would like some help, maybe kind of calming down at times, not being too anxious and stuff, and maybe in some later sessions we can try some activities and stuff that can help you with that. And maybe as far as your social life and stuff, I hear you saying that you kind of want to meet people, have more friends, kind of be able to do more social things.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a little research on what kind of events are available or what you're into, and that way you can maybe find a group of people that have similar interests as you and be a little more successful with that. Because not everybody's meant for everybody, and there are going to be people that you don't really mesh with, but then there are going to be people that you just click instantly with, and
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
We'll meet up again next time, and I appreciate you being so open and sharing with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.